Hey grade 10s, I hope you had a good weekend. Today, like the stream says, I'll be doing page 161 to 162 or 146 to 147. So let's get down to it. So here we are. We're going to convert general form to slope-intercept form so we can graph it without using a table of values. So we remember general form is ax plus by plus c equals 0. So if I were to ask you to describe to me what that is, well, it's pretty simple. You have an x value, a y value, and a constant. There may or may not be coefficients, and they all equal 0, so everything's on the left. So there's some rules about this, though. A must be positive. A, B, and C must be integers. So I'm not allowed to have fractions, which means I'm not allowed to have fractions ugly cousins, decimals. So as long as everything is on one side of the equation and there's no fractions or decimals, I have general form. Yes, sir. Haha, get it? General form. Those of you that have watched How I Met Your Mother will pick up on that joke. All right, it's really easy to do. Now, if I wanted to graph this in this form, it would be a pain. I would have to get a table of values and I'd have to sort it out. But because we're in the 10th grade and we're smart kids, we know that this, which is general form, A, B, C, is the exact same as this. Oops, I wanted to change color. This, which is slope-intercept form. You will notice it's still got a y value, y. It's still got an x value, x, and it's still got a constant. So all I do here is I, as always, to get to slope-intercept form, I isolate y using algebra. And it's not hard at all. We start 3x minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. I need y isolated. Now, a great many of you are going to insist on leaving y on the left, but you don't need to. If I move this y over here, this negative 2y, what does it become? Well, it would become positive 2y, and I would have 3x plus 8 equal 2y. Now, y is almost isolated. What math do I do to get rid of this 2? I divide by 2. If I divide this side by 2, I gotta divide this side by 2. And I get 3 divided by 2x plus 4 equals y. And that is slope-intercept form, which means I can just go ahead and graph it. Plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and its slope is 3 over 2, and it's positive. So I go up 1, 2, 3, and I run 1, 2. Or I go down 1, 2, 3, and I run 1, 2. And there's my line. That is how easy this is. I want to graph this. This looks really, really close to general form, doesn't it? But this is general form's ugly cousin, standard form. And it's just A, B, and C is over here instead of 0. but all the same rules apply. So all I got to do, again, is isolate y. So let's do that. 3x minus 4y equals 8. I need y to be by itself, so I can go ahead and move that x, and y will almost be by itself. When I move that positive 3x over here, what does it become? It becomes negative 3x, right? Because if I was doing it the old-fashioned way, the way I was originally taught algebra, I might minus 3x there, which means I'd have to minus 3x over here. They're the same thing. So now I've got negative 4y equals negative 3x, and there was already a positive 8 there. Now how do I get rid of that negative 4? I divide by negative 4. And I get y equals negative 3, negative 4. Two negatives make a positive, and 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. And there is my slope-intercept form. So I go to negative 2, and I go up 1, 2, 3, and I run 1, 2, 3 forward, have a positive slope. And then I go down 1, 2, 3, and I run to the left 1, 2, 3, 4 to have a negative slope. Sorry, it's still a positive slope. What an idiot. Now here, I want the x and y intercepts. Lots of ways I could do it. I could take this and put it into slope-intercept form, which is pretty easy to do. 2y equals negative 5x plus 10. Y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 5, because I divide everything by 2. Then I could graph it. Now I automatically know my y-intercept equals 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my x-intercept, remember, y has to be 0. I could find this by counting, but I wanted you to use the x-intercept. So my x has to be something, but my y is 0, right? So 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 10. 5x equals 10, x equals 2. 1, 2. And there's my graph. Okay, now write down an example of each line, of a line in each form. So this is a little weird because everybody could do it. All right, so I want everybody, we are going to start with y equals mx plus b. Super easy. All you have to do is choose a slope and a y-intercept. You can put any number there, or any fraction, and any number there, or any fraction. I'm going to tell you, make it easy on yourself. Make this a number. So you can choose any number. So I'm going to wait a second. You pick a number. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to go with y equals 3/5 x plus 2. That is slope-intercept form. I want the equation of a line in each form. So remember, we got 4 forms. That's 1. We got slope-intercept. We got general. We got standard. And we got slope point. So, first things first, let's take this and get it into general, because general really covers general and standard. So it's the only thing I got to do. I got to get rid of that fraction, or I can't have general form. How do I get rid of divided by 5? Well, I would multiply this side by 5. So 5 times 3/5, The 5's cancel. 3x plus 5 times 2 is 10. I just distributed. If I multiply the right side by 5, I got to multiply the left side by 5. So 5y equals that. Now, general form, everything has to be on the same side, and x has to be, the a value, which is 3, has to be positive. It's already positive, so I'm going to move that over here. 0 equals 3x minus 5y plus 10. That is general form. I've already got slope-intercept. Now, general form's ugly cousin, standard form. All I got to do is, it doesn't equal 0. This is by itself. So it's going to be 3x minus 5y equals negative 10 when I move that negative 10 over. There is standard form. And then slope point form is really easy as well. I'll highlight that. What color haven't I highlighted? I haven't used pink. So we remember that slope point form is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So y minus, that's any point on the graph. That's the slope, 3/5 x, and that's any point on the graph, right? But we already know that 0, 2 is going to be on the graph, right? So there's the y point, minus 2, x minus 0. We normally wouldn't write 0, so that's y minus 2 equals 3/5 x. And there, and I shouldn't have highlighted it in pink because now it's disappeared. But anyway, there's point slope form. Now that's the hardest one to work with because it's got the brackets. So that's why I've got it here to work with here. So this is in point slope form. I want it in general form. So we remember, general form is ax plus by plus c equals 0. No fractions, no brackets. A is positive. Over here I have fractions and brackets, so I better fix it up. Y minus 4 equals 2/3 x plus 2. Now, all of you want to distribute that right away. I know you do. And you can. It will work. But let me show you something. I'm not allowed to have this fraction, am I? So what would happen if I multiplied this side by 3? Would that take care of that fraction? Yes. And now I would have 2 times x plus 2 because I've taken care of the 3, so I don't have to distribute a fraction. But if I multiply the right side by 3, I got to multiply the left side by 3. So I've got 3y minus 4. Now, what are you going to do with those two polynomials? Of course, you're going to distribute in there. And you are going to get 3y minus 12 equals 2x plus 4. Just like we did in the last unit, polynomials. And then I just got to make this look like this. So get a positive, and then move everything to the same side. There's my a, because it's the number that's with x. Is it positive? Yes. So I'm not going to move him to x. But then I got to move this 3 over here. What happens to this positive 3 when it comes over here? It's going to be negative 3y. And then I got to move this 12. What happens to this negative 12 when I move it over here? It's going to become positive 12. Well, there was already 4 there. 4 and 12 is 16. And then all of that equals 0. And then I'm done. There's standard form. And then this last one, I want to do general form. I want to do his ugly cousin standard form, which I believe I was highlighting in blue. and slope-intercept form. So you can do this in any order you want. I'm going to go with general form because that's what we just did. Y plus 3 equals negative 1/2 x minus 1. So I don't want that negative there, and I don't want that 2 there. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 2, which means I'm going to multiply this side by negative 2, which is going to get me negative 2 y minus 3 equals the 2's cancel and the negative cancels. 1 x minus 1. Negative 2y plus 6 equals x minus 1. X is positive. 0 equals x plus 2y. Move that over and move that over to become negative 6 minus 7. There is general form. Standard form, his ugly cousin. I just move that 7 back over here. 7 equals x plus 2y. And then slope-intercept form. From here, I just got to isolate y. So I'm going to move, I've got x plus 2y equals 7. I need y isolated. So I'm going to move that x over here. 2y equals negative x plus 7. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2 to isolate y. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 7 over 2. And that's done. Your job, of course, is to do this bit of work on 163 or 148. And I think I put a quiz out for this on Google Classroom. If you think you've got it, maybe you don't even do this work. I don't know, that's up to you. The quiz is there to help you as well. It's optional, of course, and I will see you all soon. Stay strong, stay together, stay healthy.